One man and two dogs walking to Lusaka. One man, three dogs, two sheep. You don't know who Papa Wemba is? I'm listening to the song. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE Zambia. What a day! My name is Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya. It's been quite a while. One of our crew members has been irresponsible and not showing up, but we're back and we're so glad that you are here with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Beautiful. So what we do on this podcast every time is to give you highlights. You see, I do this all the time, which is basically explaining for everybody that's coming in, because they're most likely new here, because we don't have, a lot of followers except for our regulars. So what we do on this podcast is give you highlights of what's going on in our country and giving you news updates. Why do I do this? Because I don't want someone in the comments saying we should bring a guest. Because I'm just trying to make you understand that this is a news bulletin that we're giving here, which is basically highlights of what's going on in Zambia, except that we do it in a podcast style. So that's what we're doing here on this podcast. And I just wish people could get that every time we do it. Anyway. Willkommen, welcome. We're so delighted that you are joining us on this podcast today. Let's get into it, shouldn't we? The rain. We are like extremists. We move from one extreme to the next. So we moved from the extreme of not having rain altogether to having too much rain. On Saturday, I was home all of Saturday. And then my best friend called me and he was like, we should go out and chill. I had no idea what was going on. There's something, I don't know if it's something wrong or whatever about my house, is that no matter how hard it rains, I won't hear it. Like, I won't hear it unless I can see through the window. I can hear that there's rain, but I won't be able to tell how heavy the rain is. That's one, because of the roof and whatever, I think. And because of the walls, they kind of seem thick and can't hear a lot of the sound outside. Then, the positioning of my house also, I never get a flooding. Like, I never get a flooding. It's sort of at a hill, and the drainage system is really good as well. So I couldn't tell that I would never be able to tell that it was raining. Sorry, heavily. So I step out and I get in the car. I'm going to meet this guy. I get into the road, and there's no road. I get into the road and there's no road, there's running water. Like I'm even contemplating, I'm like, I can't drive through this. And then I'm there by the gate thinking, should I do this, should I not? And then someone with a smaller car, one of those really, really small cars, passes through. I'm like, I think we can do this. But then I reach another part and everybody was just waiting for someone to make a risk. And there was a bus. It went. So we passed where the bus was passing. But I've never seen that much water in that road. There was so much water. And, oh my goodness. I can't get myself together. But anyway, so we managed to, let me have some water. No? Yeah, you can turn that off as well. We managed to eventually go through, and I was just thinking to myself, what is going on, But on a very sad note, The family in Lusaka's Chaisa compound is anxiously awaiting the retrieval of their son's body after he was swept away by floods on Saturday, the same floods that I'm talking about. So the victim, a 27-year-old Yasin Piri, was selling shoes at Mandevu Market near Kalonga Bridge when the tragedy struck. I'm sorry, I gotta pick this up. Hello? Okay. This is like someone I work with who knows that I'm recording the podcast, and he's still calling me to tell me that he's done with what he was working on. Like, really? The victim, a 27-year-old Yasin Piri, was selling shoes at Mandevu Market near Kalonga Bridge when tragedy struck. According to eyewitness Patricia Zulu, Piri was attempting to salvage his merchandise when heavy rain caused severe flooding in the stream, sweeping him away. The family has expressed frustration over what they describe as a lack of urgency from the authorities, despite reporting the incident to both Mandevu and Chaisa police. Let's take a look at this.
Lusaka province has been experiencing heavy rainfall over the past week, leading to the destruction of property, disruption of businesses, and in some cases fatalities due to drowning. For the Piri family of Chaisa compound in Mandevu, their urgent appeal is to see the body of their deceased son before proceeding with funeral arrangements.
So kusenti nacherera komairo tabwata imvera kuti report vanapereka kumandevu police na pa Chaisa but kwanza ibe responsibility sivana bwere kuma 13:30 tabwata imvera phone kwati bazabwera ba fire brigade so tichitegather as family pa main pa bridge so tinabwera tinankala the ode sivana bwere kuno TV ni phone ko kwa fipa tagona mpaka lero kwachi so ivame vachitika ise sindi sewo kondwera as family cause responsibility kabwera first baikirako nzero tusakire muntu missing pa months titandizire tone family wemeza chitira but nothing
vintu ngacha accident yasoku muntu aliyense chingaya chintu chauti sichomvesa bwino pani paruzika umoyo wa muntu mayenga tichangaso mwene chiliso manje ise tikitiria mali amene sinaone body ya muntu tizabiliva bwanji kuti kapena mwana uja afa olo kapena uja mwana alipati mwaona ngati boma sinatandizire pakuti amene yachitika ni chito ya boma ifunika kubwera kubose chinga paja pantu kuti apeze mwana pamene ali kuti muone.
And an eyewitness has recounted the events of that fateful day to Diamond News.
Tinatantula na tieti nyamule masaka tinanyamula masaka njepe nabwa abwera mvula ija ikuru nabwa yambira festi ya munyamula chintemba cha munyamula mumwamba chabwa cha mubweza munyansi chabwa cha mubweza munyansi ndio kama tikubeko ni zatabira kuda kwenze manzi tunaona cheta mtemu muzake ndiye mwana mudonsera cha mchose mpamvu za bwaza chipekera ndiye mwana mulekerako amuleka ndiye mwana nabwa endera manje kuyenda ndiye mwana na masaka yamba kuyenda tabwataona chechi mwana chachokera huku na mpamvu na mipando za chokera ku junction ndiye mwenzi na bwerera za bwata zaenda noenda sana oneka.
Up to now we are still searching for his body. No one from the officials has come to the head, not even the councillor from this constituency, not even the MP. They're just relaxed, sitting there in their homes as if nothing has happened. For that, we are not happy as a community because the DMMU, they are the ones who are supposed to be on scene, the first people, but up to now, there is nothing from any official.
Meanwhile, the ward councillor has highlighted a communication lapse between the police and the fire department, which has contributed to delays in retrieving the body.
Today, I called again JMMU, then they guided to say we engage fire brigade. So I got some family members in the morning. We went there together until they called all the firemen and constituted a team that will be coming tomorrow to start as a stage. So according to them, they did have good information, the information I gave them today.
And in a related development, the Southern African Development Community SADC Humanitarian and Emergency Operations Center, SHOC, has issued a heavy rainfall advisory for the SADC region. Heavy rainfall is expected to persist over parts of eastern and southeastern Democratic Republic of Congo, most of Zambia, northwestern and southeastern Angola, northeastern Namibia, southern and central Botswana, and the northern half of Zimbabwe from February 25th to March 3rd, 2025. Member states are urged to implement preparedness and response measures in high-risk areas to mitigate the potential impacts. And member states are encouraged to activate their health and environmental surveillance and response protocols. The persisting heavy rainfall over the region is also expected to have significant public health and environmental impacts. Elfie Mwale Shampande, Diamond News.
This is really, really sad. I think it's a very, very unfortunate situation, and we can only wish the family well and that this issue is resolved soon. But in Chongwe, the police there have arrested 4 people in Kampasa area for their alleged involvement in illegal land transactions and violent attacks on council officials and staff from the Central Statistics Office. The suspects are believed to be part of a group of party cadres illegally selling land without proper documentation, creating tension within the community. So 3 days ago, council officials were harassed while conducting bridge construction works in the area. Plus, 2 weeks ago, CSO officers were chased away while attempting to conduct a community census that was aimed at assessing the population and infrastructure needs.
With a heavy police presence, Lands and Natural Resources Minister Sylvia Maseo has visited Kampasa area in Chongwe district. The area is associated with numerous land disputes accompanied by violence activities.
Siri bwino. Etawantu tinkana manda. Kuli makada venangwa maonenga monga mazitufuti bafuna landi tini yao. Amaseo banagulisa landi batina machabi.
During her visit, Minister Maseo condemned the violence and lawlessness that have characterized the land disputes in Kampasa area. She has emphasized the government's commitment to enforcing land regulations and restoring order in the area.
The officers that came here were attacked, and the government vehicle was also attacked by the same people. Now, one of the things that you'll notice, the people of Kampasa, the real people of Kampasa, they're very peaceful people. They are not involved in any of these things, but we have a clique of individuals, and the police has assured us that they should proceed with the work so that the bridge can be constructed as quickly as possible. Look at the children. Look. Just look. We promised to fix these things, and now we are failing to fix these things because people who are from the past with the mentality of the past think that we can continue with the politics of the past. No!
She has directed residents to cease all illegal activities and wanted that police would be deployed to enforce this directive. The residents want development in the area.
So tumakamba each and every day ni bandani wazatuyanganako. So pamene baona de babwera ivo takondwera cha first thing chameche tufunako ifwe. Ivi vonza bamene batumenyelamu bantu bamene bachoka kutali okutuliko na vena mbali. Chame tufuna kuno ifwe ni tukuko.
They said we want to consider the people of Kampasa by putting a crossing point here, a bridge. But unfortunately that those people, they were attacked and being beaten. But I will appreciate if the law will take its course. Because no one is above the law. The government wants to do development, then criminals are trying to prevent development in order for them to continue with criminality.
Tupangireko bridge pakuti bana bambotauka bwino poenda ku school bapunzira kuchata neo mapuranga.
So far, 4 people have been picked by police in the area in efforts to address the land disputes in Kampasa to promote transparency and accountability in land administration. Peter Sunda Jr., Diamond News.
Now, Reverend Edith Mutale, an ambassador for the Redeemed Methodist Church, has come to the aid of an 18-year-old mother whose 3-month-old baby is suffering from hydrocephalus. So Violet Muwanga, a teenager from Kaputa, had made an urgent appeal for assistance to raise funds for a shunt needed for her child's treatment. Let's take a look at this.
A mother's cry for help has been heard. Last week on Saturday, Diamond News carried out a story of a teen mother from Kaputa in Northern Province with a child suffering from hydrocephalus and in need of a shunt costing over 3,000 kwacha. A well-wisher, A kind-hearted soul in Reverend Ambassador Edith Mutale of Redeemed Methodist Church has come to offer not just words of encouragement, but real, tangible support.
Appealing for 3,000 kwacha, which for me was really 3,000 kwacha, anybody can afford. And my heart went out to her. I told myself I needed to step up and go and help. So I shared with my family. I said, look, I shared with my children. I said, there's this need of only 3,000 kwacha, which I think is negligible. And a day before, we had gone with my daughter to buy relish. We spent 2,600. So if we can spend 2,600, I can save a life for 3,000. And as a minister, I thought that I needed to preach by doing that. And people will say, yes, when she preaches about love and about giving, we will also do that.
Reverend Mutale has also cancelled Violet Mubanga.
Chikuluna lakweba, uchiri 18 years old. Wikabwelela mukukwate efumo. Uchiri umwaiche. Ulolele ukule ukakose. Nga wakosa eroke shibefya kukwata omwana umbi ole umfa. Bantu ngoli umwaiche lingi tulakwata ama problems aya pusana. Nomba wikabwekesha hapo ukuyakwata nalimbi ifumo. Ababene ba Diamond TV ukupita mulimi ba mama ba Victoria Kayeya abashirelanda pamwela ekyalengera okuti tukwate enkumbu ishakutira ineningesa ukusambirira nako kisuma pantu kesaiteka uli omulumende olenje batena alishala kusukulu wamona ingasambirira takabwere kuliwe akayafwa ya umbi waletiro wasambirira mubiye nomba umusule kofye wa nachipwa ulya.
Gratitude floods her heart as she realizes that a stranger's compassion has offered her a glimmer of hope amidst a sea of fear.
I'm truly grateful. I didn't expect that people would respond in such a manner. But Jehovah is hard to serve when Wali Rasamirangi Showati, Mungesanga Fashion Day to Taparish ones. Jehovah is hard in Park, I am Tangidira. Natasha Wonsana Church was our wish, what Jehovah is para.
As the well-wisher leaves, the mother holds her child a little tighter, knowing that with this gesture of kindness, her baby now has a chance to overcome the challenge ahead. It is a small act, but one that carries the weight of immeasurable love and generosity. Victoria Kayeye Yambani, Diamond News.
Okay, welcome back. I've been given some water. I was joking at the start of this. But let's finalize by talking about President Hakainde Hichilema. He held bilateral talks with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, who reaffirmed Egypt's commitment to sharing its development expertise with Zambia. Speaking during a joint press briefing at the presidential palace in Cairo, President el-Sisi stated that Egypt is ready to support Zambia in key sectors such as agriculture, aquaculture, and infrastructure. So let's quickly take a look at this.
A handshake of commitment at the presidential palace in Cairo. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi welcomed Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema for high-level talks aimed at strengthening economic and diplomatic ties. Speaking at a joint press briefing, President el-Sisi was clear: Egypt is ready to offer its expertise.
I confirmed to President Hichilema Egypt's readiness to share its development expertise and to provide all forms of support and assistance to Zambia, upgrading the competencies of its cadre in prioritized areas, further to the development of frameworks in the Zambian state institutions. We discussed as well investment opportunities in the vital Lobito corridor project within the framework of the pursuit of incentivizing the engagement of both Egyptian private and public sectors in the various investment activities in Zambia.
Beyond economics, the two leaders turned their attention to Africa's wider challenges. From mounting debt to the climate crisis, President El-Sisi stressed that only through unity can the continent move forward. And then there is the matter of conflict. The situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan and Gaza remains volatile. For Egypt's president, peace and stability are non-negotiable.
Agreed that it is critical to undertake joint action and concert positions forwarding African priorities to global agenda.
For Zambia, Egypt's support isn't new. President Hichilema recalled a critical moment when Zambia faced a medical supply shortage. Egypt stepped in.
I want to build on this history of our friendship, my brother president and the government, people of Egypt, the government and the people of Zambia, to deepen our cooperation in the areas that you have indicated. I know you have touched on infrastructure, on health, on energy, on agriculture, but also to thank you for the provision of medicines, pharmaceuticals. When I took public office, we had a situation where our hospitals didn't have as many medicines as the people needed. And I touched you came through to your office, and your support, your assistance was very, very handy in providing the medicines that our country needed. And I want us to expand this partnership going forward into not just supplying from Egypt, but also getting the joint ventures between Egyptian pharmaceutical companies.
But beyond gratitude, President Hichilema had a message. Regional partnerships matter. A stable Africa, he said, is a prosperous Africa. A partnership reinforced, a vision shared. Egypt and Zambia are charting a path toward greater collaborations, not just for their nations, but for the continent. Darius Jonya, Tamo News, in Cairo, Egypt.
So, President HH has been in Egypt for a 2-day state visit. I think it's good. He was invited there. It's his first time going to Egypt. And there's a lot to learn from Egypt. What they've done in one of their ultra cities, Cairo City is what they're calling it, starts with a K, is incredible. And they've done it in 4 years. They've got Africa's tallest building at over 70 floors now. And I think there's a lot to learn. If they can transform a city in an area in such a short space, I think that is the trajectory we should be looking at. Zambia should also be looking at making an ultra-modern city within Lusaka that should, spiral and economic growth. And I hope that those are some of the plans, ambitious, these are some of the ambitious projects that we should be having as a country. But anyway, thank you for joining in. This has been Zambia What a Day. I have been Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya. And as much as we are here today, we hope that we're here again tomorrow for us to be giving you these highlights of the biggest news stories in our country. Enjoy.